coming like 2 bedroom, all gender, all gender. It's like, what is this?
So I'm not gonna stand down on anything that I believe in. Come on, don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing that.
Another
You're
human
free to
being.
post
I can post whatever I want.
Bank accounts, you ask me some stupid shit like that, go yourself. Move the
Woke culture has spread across various fields in modern society, but not everyone embraces it easily. Notably, some professional athletes have courageously spoken out against and challenged journalists who support this cultural movement. They not only reject being manipulated by imposed political views, but also strongly push back against biased questions or opinions from reporters. These athletes have shaken the media, asserting their personal stances and fighting for their freedom of speech in an environment increasingly dominated by woke culture. Woke culture has, to some extent, stifled free speech, with celebrities often seeing their careers crushed for speaking out on sensitive topics. However, some individuals, like MMA fighter Sean Strickland, are still willing to confront political issues head-on. At a press conference, instead of focusing on his martial arts career, a Canadian reporter shifted the conversation to LGBTQ topics. Sean did not shy away but responded candidly, expressing frustration at being dragged into a political debate he felt was irrelevant to his sports career. This is a clear example that, despite criticism, many celebrities remain resolute in defending their viewpoints and refuse to be dictated by social pressures.
It's got to be. We've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I've...
Oh, look, another. I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone says...
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse...
Let me know. Are you gay?
Can I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking. This is a part of. Are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak man, dude. You're part of the problem. You elected Justin Trudeau. Like, when he sees the bank accounts, like, you're just pathetic. And the fact that you have no backbone, and has he shut down your country and seized bank accounts? You ask me some stupid shit like that, go yourself. Move the
tense confrontation between Sean Strickland and the Canadian reporter during the press conference quickly turned into a clash of opinions rather than a sports interview. When the reporter brought up Sean's controversial comments on LGBTQ+ and the transgender community, especially his statement that if he had a gay son, he would see it as a failure, Sean not only refused to retract his words, but also responded harshly, questioning the reporter. This question not only made Sean uncomfortable, but also put him on the defensive, as he attacked the reporter and linked the discussion to more sensitive political issues, including criticism of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. For Sean, this was not just a dialogue about individual rights, but an opportunity to express his dissatisfaction with what he views as the weakness of modern society. This exchange was shocking, not only for its bluntness and somewhat crude language, but also for highlighting the deep ideological divide on social issues like LGBTQ+ rights. Even as the dialogue became more intense, the reporter continued to ask further questions, prompting Sean to maintain a confrontational attitude, further highlighting the deep differences in their views.
I did want to ask also things you said about the trans community. You said this past October when they announced the Bud Light sponsorship that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight, they'll have to accept...
When the reporter mentioned Bud Light's social media campaign that sponsored a transgender influencer to promote their product, Sean Strickland made his displeasure clear. He wasn't alone in his feelings, as many Bud Light fans also expressed anger over the brand's partnership with an LGBTQ+ representative for the marketing campaign. For individuals like Sean, this was not just an advertising campaign, but a statement about shifting values with which they disagreed.
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental illness. And now all of a sudden, people like you have weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of and the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your bullshit you're peddling. The world is not saying, you know what, you're right. Chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could I don't want my kids being taught about their sexual.
During the interview, Sean Strickland harshly criticized the reporter, blaming him for the world's problems, particularly over what Sean called stupid questions. However, the conversation didn't stop at personal attacks. Sean delved deeper into his views on the LGBTQ+ community and the state of free speech, especially in Canada. He expressed that, in his opinion, censorship in Canada had suppressed traditional values and pushed back against free speech. Sean emphasized that he had no problem with gay people, but condemned the teaching of such topics in schools and the promotion of the LGBTQ+ agenda to children. With statements like, "We still have freedom in America and we'll teach you about it," Sean didn't just express personal views but also attacked Canada's political and cultural systems. He argued that LGBTQ+ education was a form of brainwashing, and called for respecting parents' rights rather than imposing these new values on their children. Sean's strong and uncompromising stance exemplifies the opposition of certain individuals to societal changes related to the LGBTQ+ community and how it is represented in education and culture. Sean Strickland's interview quickly became a focal point on social media, with many supporting him and criticizing the reporter's questions as stupid. Most viewers felt that questions about the LGBTQ+ community were not truly relevant in the context where Sean was discussing his sports career. The viral nature of the interview even caught the attention of UFC President Dana White, who was questioned by a reporter afterward about why UFC allows its fighters to say whatever they want without oversight.
Dana, I just want to go back. You were talking about, you obviously give a long leash to your fighters about, what they can say when they are up there with a UFC microphone and you are getting into territory of homophobia, transphobia. Is there...
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you...
A leash? Free speech. I control what people say. Going to tell people what to believe. Going to tell people... I don't tell any other human being what to say, what to think.
Then, the dialogue became even more prominent when Dana White also had to explain the right to free speech for UFC fighters to another reporter. Dana affirmed that he doesn't care about the pressures from woke culture and emphasized his respect for the athlete's right to speak freely in the UFC. Instead of restricting speech like many other leagues, Dana White defended freedom of speech, allowing fighters to express their views without being tightly controlled by political or social rules.
What is your question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on, though.
Yeah, probably a good idea. That's ridiculous to say I give somebody a leash. Free speech, brother. People can say whatever they want and they can believe whatever they want. And I don't think there's any... We had two gay women who fought in the co-main event. They sat on the stage with Sean Strickland. They could give a shit what Sean Strickland thinks or what he says or what his beliefs are or what his opinions are. You know what I mean?
Both Strickland and Dana White have taken strong stances against social pressures that aim to limit free speech in sports, highlighting the importance of maintaining traditional values, even in the face of opposition. Next up is NBA superstar Kyrie Irving, who faced media scrutiny after posting about a controversial film. This quickly attracted attention and sparked controversy, with many criticizing him for supporting the film as a sign of insensitivity to significant social issues.
So then do you, I guess, understand or not understand those that might imply that that work had anti-Semitic leanings in it? I only ask this because the tweet is still up there, so I
We're in 2022. It's on Amazon, a public platform. Whether you want to go watch it or not is up to you. There's things being posted every day. I am no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different.
In this interview, Kyrie expressed his exhaustion from constantly being questioned about the film he posted. Less than a minute after the first question, he was again confronted with questions surrounding the topic, and this time Kyrie was fed up.
To follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me in front of the
By putting it out there, people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I
promoting.
put it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not
You put
stuff,
things out there for a living, right?
right? But my stuff is not
So let's move on.
filled
Let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing
I'm
that.
another
You're
human
free
being.
to post
I can post whatever I want. So
post
say that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that by
I don't have to understand anything from you.
It's not me.
Nothing.
By
It's no
posting
people
what
that you're
you
making up,
did,
bro. Move on.
But by posting
Move
what
on.
you
Next
did,
question.
Anybody
Do
is
you guys have
gonna
any
look
more
at
questions
it,
for
and
me?
they're gonna say,
You guys have any more
does he have
questions? Because this is going to be a clip.
beliefs?
This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
But you're not answering the question.
Oh, this is another answering your question. Oh my God, let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
He argued that he has the right to post whatever he wants and emphasized that the media should not assume they can easily take that right away from him. This statement reflected Kyrie's strong personal viewpoint on free speech, a direct confrontation with woke culture, and highlighted the tension between athletes and the media in today's society, where every statement can become a point of contention. Next is undoubtedly one of the funniest moments on this list, as Russian martial arts champion Khabib Nurmagomedov was asked by entrepreneur Patrick Bet-David about his views on the US recognizing more than two genders. Khabib's response was not only priceless, but also showcased his simplicity and straightforwardness. He did not hesitate to express his views candidly, highlighting a very pragmatic approach to the issue. His answer provoked mixed reactions, but also made the audience comfortable with his straightforward perspective on a controversial topic. This further increased Khabib's appeal, not just as a fighter, but as someone with decisive opinions who is unafraid to voice them.
A very technical question for you. I know you're a math guy, and this one may be a tough question for you. If you're uncomfortable answering this one, I'm totally okay with that. In America, we have a few hundred genders. How many genders do you guys have in Russia?
Patrick employed a straightforward and direct questioning style, allowing Khabib to express his views without being bound by the usual protocols of standard interviews.
Here is like, I see only women and men. There is no between.
Got it.
In response to entrepreneur Patrick Bet-David, Khabib Nurmagomedov provided a concise yet profound answer to the concept of gender. He expressed confusion over modern concepts related to gender and the recognition of more than two genders in the US, asserting that in his culture there are only two genders. Khabib's response reflects not only his personal viewpoint, but also the differences in approaches among various cultures regarding this issue. However, if you think this was the most impressive part of the interview, you're mistaken, as Khabib then continued to recount a humorous story about being unsure which bathroom to use in a cafe in California. He described the humorous situation he encountered during his first time in California when faced with confusion about the bathroom in a cafe. This surely reflects a comical yet accurate depiction of the current social climate where perceptions of gender are changing rapidly. Woke culture has limited the freedom of speech for celebrities, restraining them by threatening their careers and personal lives. However, some athletes and stars
you're in
continue
Toronto.
to
Welcome. Glad to hear.
courageously
It's been
break
great.
through
Are you Canadian?
all barriers,
Of course I am.
directly
Are you part of the
challenging this
opposition?
culture.
Are you-
He
I don't know
emphasized
how-
that the future of
And
society
it's the title
relies
given
on
to
the
Christ,
ability to
Philippians
protect free
2:11.
speech while
And my
still
name translates
respecting
in the Hebrew
diversity
language
and
as Yahweh.
differing opinions within the community. These actions not only demonstrate individual strength, but also call on us to collectively defend the core values of freedom and fairness. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to our channel to continue following us in the upcoming videos. Have a great day.